welcome. Yeah, like, oh, shit. Yeah, like, yeah, right. Scratching my nuts. Right. Welcome to Heart of the City Radio. I don't even know why I go through this every week.
I want to. You got to introduce me.
But
though.
to my immediate left,
yes,
my right hand, Miss
Trashy Vashi.
Trashy Vashi.
Trashy Vashi's in the building
and
tonight.
to my right, the always late African boy.
Late African.
They must ain't got no watches,
they
no
don't.
clocks over there.
They don't.
This
I
motherfucker's
swear,
always
y'all.
late. But
He gonna come in here with his, break into a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Right.
You know that commercial? Remember that commercial?
Snap with Macho Man. Remember?
Yes.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
That is Breeze. Snap into a Slim Jim.
But all the while, we got my man, Mr. Marco, super producer.
Hey, Marcus.
This the man that tells us what to do. We barely listen to him, but he tells us what to do.
I mean, but,
Yeah.
we do listen.
I got my baby boy right there, Mr. King, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah, on the cover up. It's future asshole.
Oh, my God, so disrespectful.
It's my baby boy. My favorite white guy, Mr. Jacob.
Mr.
Jacob Moss. Let's introduce him properly, Mr. Jacob Moss.
Mr. Jacob Moss.
Yes, indeed. Give him a round of applause.
Off the chair, everything, yes. That you know what? Jacob been around us a whole lot.
Yes, he has. Yes, indeed.
Jacob been around us a whole. All you heard was those wheels bust up from the bottom of that chair, and Jacob jumped up and said, "Give my motherfucking homage."
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
He deserved his rights.
Today we got a special guest. I'm kind of excited about this. Good friend of mine. She watched me grow up. She an old head.
Oh, he so tried it.
She watched me grow up. Miss Katina Rafer. She wrote her book called 22 with 22 of her testimonies. You know what I'm saying? Real interesting. First time I read a whole book in a long time. So give it up for Katina for making me read a whole book.
Yeah, I read it.
You know what I'm saying? Give it up. Yeah, give it up, man. Give it up, man.
20
I appreciate
minutes.
it. She'll be coming up here with us in a few seconds, man. We're gonna get her in so she can discuss her book, what went into writing it. You know what I'm saying? Real interesting. She'll be here in a minute. But until then, what's good?
Shit. I am just happy.
You look happy.
I do.
You look happy.
Hold on.
Show a little ta-ta. There you go.
I'm just happy though. I kind of feel like, I don't know.
She just don't know. She just happy.
I feel good.
She happy. You happy? You just happy?
I'm happy.
Right.
I mean, I think, because I'm a real bitch. So I was doing
Shout out to
shit.
Vash for admitting that she's a real bitch,
I was
man.
doing real bitch shit for like 12 months straight, almost. And now that I'm not being a real bitch anymore, I'm just doing better.
That's good. I mean, shout out for Vash for stop being a real bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I am a
that
real,
shit. But you're not doing real bitch shit no more.
Yeah, I am.
Like what is real bitch shit?
Real
Break
bitch
that down
shit?
to me.
I mean, it's just like, what bitches do. We can be really mean. We can be really mean, really nasty. We can hold grudges. I'm not holding a grudge anymore.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I never know which way the bang going, but when I fix the bangs, bitch, just know it's some shit coming. But,
Well, I'm glad that you're not, being so bitchy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing, because when Vash gets bitchy, she can get very...
Oh, my God.
I get that bitchy. Yes, indeed.
I can be like, where's my Snickers?
You saying I'm going to get you sucker when she came on her period?
Yes,
Right.
That's
that
me.
can be you. Yeah,
I know.
very much so. Very much so.
I know.
But look, we about to take a quick break. We're going to bring Miss Katina Rayford up so she can get into discussing her book right after this quick message. We ain't even got no messages. So
we ain't even got no no goddamn mess. Fuck the bullshit. We about to get off the camera
Right.
so she can walk up here. We get her situated to sit on down, and we gonna get this right on out.
Jacob, play one of your commercials in the meantime.
Yeah, throw some shit on,
throw
Jacob.
some shit on. Yeah, Jacob.
Get
yeah.
that, throw something to
Make
yours
us feel
on.
good.
You know.
And turn the music up.
Turn the music up on us. We'll talk about this in a second.
We be
Where
right
be
back.
back. Where's Breeze?
Watch this.
This is about unity.
Now, how many of y'all born and raised DC? Make some noise. Well, if you are, let's make this a DC party. Come on.
36 Nation Radio. We're here today at Richard Wright Public Charter School. I am joined today by Councilmember Trayon White.
I was deeply touched by the loss of a young man, Zaire Kelly, a few weeks ago that went to Third Hill Marshall. And I think when Dr. Clark started this initiative, it was something, it was a good vision and something that the kids needed to ensure that we got their back. One of the number one reasons for when I talk to young people, especially young African-American men, why they drop out of school is because of safety. They don't feel safe. And I went to Blue Senior High School. I had my challenge with neighborhood community beefs. And so I know the challenge, you know. And so we're here to stand in solidarity with the young ladies and young men here at Richard Wright to ensure we got their back going to and from school. And it's a lot of good energy here, a lot of good people, a lot of good networking. Well, I solely believe that bad things happen when good people do nothing. And in our community, we have a lot of good people in small pockets. So I want to just create the vehicle that people can get on. Because while police got a job to do, everybody in the community has equally as a job to do in our community to ensure safety in our communities.
Why did you feel like you had to do this initiative? Talk to me about why it's necessary.
It's necessary because our kids are getting beat up every day going home, coming to school, and it's important that we get enough adults out on the street. You know, if we get more adults out there, the presence of just adults is going to change the way people look at them. And so the reality is that the more we can get the community involved, you know, it does take an entire village. This is a call out to the city to get adults involved. And you know, there's some people that want to get involved but don't know how. So today we're making a call to action. We're going to have some fun doing it. Dougie's going to be here and do his thing. And so we're excited. I got some kids that are going to perform because we want everybody in the district to know that our kids are great and we need to get out and support them.
So we on one.
And you need to detox anyway.
I detoxed 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. That's good.
That was it, man. One of the most excruciating times of my life.
Okay,
welcome
you guys.
back. Welcome back to Hard. That's how real we are. We talk about
Right.
detox on the air. Give me some beats, Jacob. We here with Miss Katina Rayford, good friend of mine. Grew up in the same community for over, majority of our lives, and she's written a hell of a testimony, or what you call it, your memoirs. Your diary. That's like your diary.
No, it's like any testimony.
Okay. Yeah, she broke down and shared some of her testimonies called 22. Please hold the book up, y'all. 22.
Life-changing.
Go ahead and talk about what went into writing this, what made you want to write it, how long it took, the significance of 22. First of all, let me say this first. Let me say this.
Hold on, can we change the background music a little bit, Jacob?
Which one I put up?
I don't know. You wanted to listen to this?
Is that the same thing? You can switch it up. Give me something else.
Yeah, I gotta listen to something.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
First of all, I'm gonna say this. I just want to admit that you are the reason that I started going to the black hole. When I used to see all y'all get dressed and getting dressed to go to the go-go, and I said, all that ass in the go-go, I need to be there. So shout out to Tina and her crew for inspiring me for one go. Right. Shout out to Tina and the Circle Quarter Honeys for inspiring me to want to go to the black hole.
Oh my God.
But
Yes,
go ahead.
too.
The stage is yours, though. Go ahead. Talk about your book.
My book is called 22, and I came about writing a book because I teach cosmetology, as you know.
Right.
So for 10 years at the Bennett Career Institute, and each year we would do vision boards. So 10 years ago, I said I was going to write a book, but I played around, never got serious. I would write a little bit and then I would stop, but I never took it serious. So this past April, I was on a fast and I read a book, and I read it like in an hour. So then I was fasting to hear from God to hit my purpose. So I heard God say, if you can read a book in an hour, you can write that book that you've been hesitating to write for 10 years. So that's how the book came about. And the book that I was actually reading, it wasn't a long drawn out book. It wasn't a big novel. It was, it was an easy read. Like my book is an easy read. So that's when it came to me to stop trying to put my whole entire life into one book and just, break it down. So I became an author.
I see that. Now, the significance behind 22 comes from?
The title? Mm-hmm. The title 22 comes from my birthday. My fabulous birthday is October 22nd.
How related?
You
So
a Scorpio?
I have my own sign.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra. I'm on a cusp, so I'm mixed. I made that up.
You want some Tiger Woods with this cavalation shit.
I made that up. I'm
Chinese,
a Libra.
A Libra.
Yeah,
So what
mixed.
is that? A Libra?
I'm different.
A Libra mixed with Scorpio?
Yes.
If that ain't some DC public school shit. We just make up titles.
Because I love
Libra, no, but
Scorpio
that's,
so much. I mean, Marcus, I think we love Scorpio.
but that's clever though.
so
That's
much,
clever.
Yeah, I think I'm mixed.
I
I actually do think I'm mixed.
Okay.
So, my birthday is October 22nd. When I was 14, I had my first child, and her birthday is December 22nd, which is coming up.
Okay.
Shouts out to my first baby. She'll be 31. And
Kiki,
then Kiki.
Yeah, shout out Kiki.
Kia, yes. Then I wrote 20. I was actually on a fast for 21 days, but I added an extra day, so that made it 22 days. And then there's 22 testimonies, and then I researched the number 22, and it means to come from darkness to light. So I feel like in the book, I release a lot of my testimonies and a lot of stuff from my past that I just needed to let go of. So that's why I wrote the testimonies, and it's like a release for me. I'm over it now.
And how hard was it for you to write this book? Because if you read it, it's some some shit in it that just made me like, Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? And I've known you for a long time and never knew that you experienced a lot of this. So how hard was it for you to write this book and have to relive a lot of those moments?
There were moments where, I got teary-eyed after where I was writing, or, I relived the situation. But most of the stuff, testimonies that I wrote, I was really blessed. Like, I actually felt like I was blessed. Like,
Yeah.
like I had a lot of different incidents where I had brushed with death, and I'm blessed to be here, to be even able to speak right now, because I could have been gone so many times.
Yeah. Now, which part of the book probably was the most difficult? Like, which part of the book was the hardest for you to have to actually relive?
It was a lot of it. It was a lot. Some days I was really emotional, and some days I would, I would write one testimony for that day, and if it was just like kind of overwhelming for me, I would, write just write and then wait for the next day, and then the next day I might write 2 or 3 testimonies. So that's how it was for me.
Okay. Well, but you still ain't answered my question. Which one stood out the most?
It's my life.
Give me one.
I'm still waiting. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, give me one. Just
can't
give me
give
one.
you one.
Because, like I said,
I can't give you one, because when you think back over your life, and it was just ones that just, I don't know, they all were kind of touching.
Right.
All right. So as somebody who hasn't read your book at all, what was the most fun part of writing this book?
The fun part about writing a book was, that I was getting through it, and I really saw the vision, like it's gonna come to pass. Something that I've been putting off for so long is actually gonna come into existence. So I was excited that I was finally accomplishing something, one of my dreams or goals that I've been putting off for so long. So
I think that's like the message that you're trying to get across with this book. Is that like?
I think my message with the book is that I think a lot of us just hold so much in and we don't release, and it's just like it affects our everyday living. And I think that we don't communicate enough. Communication in life, period. And I don't think we're transparent. I don't think sometimes we're just real. Some things, like, I'm really opening up and telling a lot about my life. So everyone's not transparent like that. And I think by me being transparent, it could really help someone. Once you feel like, and I've talked to some people who read the book, and they were like, it helped them, and they're gonna try to do a fast, and they got goals and things they're gonna do, and they're gonna write some of their testimonies, because there's pages in there where you can write your own testimonies.
Okay, well, I read the book a couple of days ago, and I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
What I'll say is this: I like the book. I really did like the book. It was some things that I can relate to. Being a woman, growing up in an urban community, and as a young girl, we seen a lot of stuff that how things that go down. And I did see, in the chapters that you had, like after each chapter, after each testimony, you had room for you, I guess, for us to write our notes. Mm-hmm. So my first question is, before I get into it, was those for us, not women, but whoever read the book, to write your own notes as far as your own life?
Yeah,
and see,
your own testimony.
Right,
not what you felt about my testimony.
Right,
but
our
your own
testimony.
Yeah,
so we can
release.
identify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I said, okay, well, I know this is for the notes, so we can identify with our own insecurities and try to, figure things out. But I really like the book. I like how it started off. It was just that in each, I just wanted you to go in and tell me. It was like as soon as it got it was something else. I said, well, God damn it.
Well, that may be for a second book or something, So, but actually how I got to the testimonies, I just was led each day. Whatever I thought of and whatever came to me, that's what I wrote about. So I wasn't like, oh, I remember this, I'm going to write this, I'm going to write that. I just let it come to me naturally.
So was it anything that you didn't put in the book that you...
Oh, it's lots. It's lots of stuff.
I mean, because it's so much. Like,
if
anyone is from around y'all way...
Scandal.
No, I'm serious. If you are from around Tyler House, Thurston Quarters, down that area, and you was back in these days, it's some events that I'm sure you probably can remember or something. I think this is a good read for people that came up around you that like Ed and, y'all generation, where it's like, okay, I remember when this happened. I remember when that happened. It kind of explains a lot of things because me and Ed discussed it. But for a girl like me reading the book, I was like, oh my God, I want to know his name.
Yeah.
Right.
Who is that? And
shout out to Oni. Oni said, P.S. I had the biggest crush on Oni. Jesus Christ. But Oni said that time in the car where your car got shot up.
Yeah.
She was in there and she said that was probably one of the hardest points in the book for her.
Yes, we was in so many situations where there were guns and shooting. Like, we survived that, and it's a blessing. We owe God the glory for that. But I'm like, it was a lot of incidents. Like she said, we from an urban neighborhood, and so much went on. I didn't put anything in the book because the book was basically about things I was feeling that I needed to release.
Right.
But I believe a second book is in the making.
So with the second book, because this book goes down in the DM in this book right here.
I actually read the book and got depressed. I was like, oh my
God.
No.
It's not depressing. It just be like, well, damn, did it ever get good?
Right.
Yeah, see, now
You need a book too, because
need
after
a
book
book
one,
too.
you just be like, okay.
But I think,
All right,
I think
I was emotional. I got emotional a
and
couple of times. 'Cause I was like, the time in the car. I was like, that brought me back years ago. Because I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stories that you wrote, it's like, if we did put our notes in it, you really can identify with a lot of the things or something similar, that might have happened to you where you say, oh, well, maybe. But you know what, though? And this is just me talking. I kind of wish that when you talked about your dad in the beginning, like that you could have wrote your whole book based on that time.
I could.
Because I want, that's where I wanted you to go. After I read it, I was like, I liked it, yeah. I can relate. But you didn't go in, and I'm like, I think that's where, for me, if I didn't know, you didn't know it, and I picked up the book, and I had to write my assumption down, I would say, well, I am assuming that all of her insecurities and everything that happened stemmed from that right there, and then it went on.
Do you think that's
through
likely?
life. Do you think, am I right or am I wrong?
What you mean, far as with
You
relationships?
With your-
Yeah,
with
like,
your father,
with
yeah,
your life, how
yeah.
your life went. In the beginning, you said, all I really wished was, basically, my dad would have did with us what he did with someone else in their family with the white picket fence. And, and I kind of felt like I am a girl who went through the same situation, same similar situations with that, with that situation. So it was like, do you think it started then, or do you think it stopped and you got, you got kind of grown, or, because
I
it was
think
like you
started
kind
there
of.
because
She want to know, do you got daddy issues?
Oh,
I do
nigga,
have daddy
please, you do.
issues.
Okay.
I have daddy issues. I believe it did start there because what I realized now after I've completed my fast and I feel like I'm new, and in the back of the book you will read like my commitment, my release, my deliverance, and stuff like that. I feel like all my life I've been looking for love. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a friendship, whether it's just from people, period. I've been looking for love all my life, and I believe, I'm not saying like I want to like expose my dad as a bad person, because he was always there. But people can be in your life and always be there, but there's still not a connection.
Right. They still not there.
They're still not there.
Right.
So like I tell my dad now, I can't even remember having a serious conversation with him because he's like a comedian. He jokes all the time, and I be serious. So we clash, and he was married for 33 years, and I'm like, I never been married. I had all these different men and relationships and kids' fathers and all this different stuff. And I was just like, Dad, you know what? You never talked to me or tell me what kind of man to actually look for, or what kind of man to, be in a relationship, or even to look at marriage. That was something that he could have instilled in me. Then I could have been married for 33 years,
And you know what? Being a man on this panel, I think that's one of my biggest commitments to being the father of a son and a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because we always emphasize being fathers to our boys, but we forget that our girls need
you just as
much as our sons do. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be that model for my daughter to understand, what I'm saying, what type of man, what I'm saying, she should seek, not to fall victim to abusive relationships, what I'm saying, and to keep her from becoming overly promiscuous because she's looking for that man's love outside when, what I'm saying, I can show her exactly, what I'm saying, that she's beautiful.
And see, the thing about it with what Ed is saying, a lot of these men, they have girls and they think, oh, that's daddy's girl for Instagram and Facebook and shit. But it's like, you have to really raise these girls, because at the end of the day, a lot of us do marry and date our fathers. I don't care how much you like him, how much he won shit, how much he was there, good or bad. A lot of us date and marry our fathers. Period. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. For me, I mean, I've dated guys that I can say, oh, he probably was like my dad. I don't really, you know.
I don't know if I can say the same thing.
I mean, I don't really do him or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of things that my dad, who my dad is, I've seen a lot in my boyfriends before, good and bad. Yeah. But I've still made my own decisions to say I see a lot of the things that my mom went through and other black women went through that I went through that I didn't have to go through, but it was because, you know, something was missing at the time. But now I identify with, this is the things that I need to work on. Yeah. You know, these are the type of guys that I want to attract. I'm kind of like snatched now anyway, but, you know, I'm just saying, like, if I was on the market, it would be really, really hard because you don't know who these men are.
Well, now I feel like after all this time, it was, I had an epiphany maybe about 5 months ago. And I just, for the first time, I felt like I've never been in love. Now, there were some people that you read about in the book that I was infatuated with. I thought they were like, I couldn't breathe without them.
We can tell you went into detail. He was tall.
I couldn't breathe without them. I thought what I thought was love. I thought I loved them so much. But, you know, like I said, I had an epiphany. And for the first time, I felt like I'd never been in love. I don't feel like I ever been in love or made love. That's how I feel now. And I'm pretty much scared straight now. I'm very, very, very single. And I feel like God has to come down and tap me on my shoulder and say, that's the one. And I'm standing like that until he do.
Are you kidding me?
I'm so serious.
Oh, no. Girl, you better go. Let me tell you something.
I am so serious.
I'm going to tell you something because...
It's not turning the ratchet out.
I'm serious. Because I don't want you to feel like that.
No, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, girl, it's so many good guys out here.
I know, but he has to come to me. The Bible says... Go on with your Bible, girl. See, when a man finds a wife, all my life I've been looking. I've been looking all my life. If I see someone and I feel like I want him, I'm gonna go after him. So if a man
finds a wife, a man finds a good thing or something, right?
When a man finds a wife,
he finds
the good thing. Good thing.
Can you cook?
I can burn. Okay, I sell food. You know,
that's half the battle. That's half.
I got like 100 jobs.
Hey, that's
cooking and sexing. That's all you gotta do. That's it. I mean, if you can cook and you got a nice little torch,
right?
You in the building. I'm just saying.
That'll do.
That'll bring that that joint. You know, we about to get real.
She can suck a good wood and cook a steak up, man.
Listen,
right. Yeah, you good.
Good.
No, but this time I'm waiting. I'm not gonna do my own thing anymore. I'm gonna wait.
So
he's gonna find me.
So with the absence, you know, with the relationship between your father being kind of rocky, you had a stronger relationship with your uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who passed from cancer.
Right.
No, he had heart.
Okay, right.
Now
right,
talk about your relationship with him growing up. Shout out to Cleveland first of all.
Yes,
that was my man.
Uncle Cleveland. I miss him so much. You know, actually he passed away on my birthday. So, you know, it was heartbreaking. It was just devastating. So, I was away. I was on a cruise, my first cruise, and I couldn't wait to get back to tell him, you know, about my cruise. And I had T-shirts. Wherever we go, we travel, he want T-shirts. So I had all these T-shirts for him. I couldn't wait to show him the pictures, but he passed on my birthday. And growing up, you know what? I used to think I was the oldest niece, And we lived in the house together in the Tyler house. So I thought I was the oldest. I'm not the oldest. I just think I'm the favorite. I was the favorite. I know the family gonna get mad, but I was the favorite niece. And we had a really close relationship. He was like the father figure. He was like the uncle, the brother, the friend, everything. But he was the actual. I had my father, but he was more like the father figure for me. And he came to everything, all my accomplishments. And he actually wanted to write a book about Tyler House, about our neighborhood. And he started.
Shit.
I don't know where his notes is and everything like that, but he wanted to write a book about our neighborhood. But he never did. But I believe he's very proud of, me writing this book, because I know he wanted to write a book. So, but like I said, he was the father figure. Every accomplishment, and you know what? A special thing about my uncle is he really taught me. You know how you said, Vash, you said that we might date our fathers and things like that. My uncle, he actually showed me more of what type of guy I should be.
Right.
Accepting and what kind of guy I should be, that should be in my life. Because when I say my uncle gave me gifts for everything, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, even Halloween candy, he gave me gifts and he treated me like a queen. He always gave me cards, flowers, candy. And he just always told me how much he loves me and he's proud of me. So I feel like, that's the type of guy that I should have. A guy who celebrates me and give me candy, flowers.
Oh.
Shout out to Cleveland. Cleveland,
Yes.
I mean, he thought he was everybody's father.
Yes, he did.
Blocking orders. Wait. Oh, my father. But, no disrespect, but, that's the type of guy he was. And I knew that y'all had a very close relationship. This next question I wanted to ask you spoke on, like, growing up in Tyler House, that Certain Quarters neighborhood. How much of that area, what was the impact or that it left on you growing up in that area? Because it kind of, I admit, you said in one story that it left you feeling traumatized.
Yeah.
And I know that's
I saw the killings.
Right, and
Like,
it had the same effect on me also. So speak on that though.
I saw a killing. I saw like one of our good childhood friends that was like family. Actually, I didn't actually see him get killed, but I saw his body laying out there, brains on the ground, blood everywhere. And I had nightmares about that for years, like years and years and years. And I kind of have mixed feelings about the neighborhood, because when you hear the name of our neighborhood, like Tyler House, Certain Quarters, you hear like a lot of people like, oh my God, that's like such a terrible place. Like, it's just so bad. But there were some great people and some great things came out of the neighborhood. A lot of smart people, a lot of people that's doing well for themselves, a lot of success came out of the neighborhood. So it wasn't all bad. But
from Section 8 to Section Great.
Hey.
Yeah, so in the family, even when you live in a neighborhood like that, even though things happen and it's a lot of shooting and killing and stuff like that, you still have that family.
It's still home.
It's still family oriented.
It's still home.
Back in my time, like somebody else's mother, like one of my friends' mother, she beat me because I did something bad, and my mom let her beat me. So it was like everybody was like family. So that's what you get from the neighborhood besides everything. And I was thinking, like, sometimes you want to live this in the suburbs, you want to live in the suburban life, but sometimes when you live in the hood, people look out for you. Like, nobody can't come up on your cars and just do anything and stuff like that.
Bust all your windows out, knock on your
you
door.
Looking for your child.
Yes, you know.
Look, he at such and such house.
Yes.
He right there on such and such porch.
Yep.
So it's,
it was
pros and
a strong
cons.
sense. It was definitely a strong sense of community.
Question for those about it. Like, everybody doesn't know where Tyler House is. Where is Tyler House?
Tyler House.
North Capitol Street.
Yeah, right. North Capitol.
Blocks away from the Capitol.
Yeah, right.
What's it, First?
You're right. No, it's North Capitol. It sits in between North Capitol and New York and M Street. So
M Street, right.
1200 North Capitol.
Right. Yeah, we spent.
And
I
Circle
ride-
Quarters is next door.
I ride
Hey,
down that one
directly.
way every day, going to North Capitol, taking my kids to school. And when I got this book, which was it, 2 days ago? So it was yesterday morning. After I finished, I was like, dang, all that shit was happening right here.
Yeah.
And
We
me and my
lost a lot
girlfriends
of
was probably
people.
driving through, getting stuck at the roadblocks y'all used to be having right there every goddamn day.
I think once like the crack era hit, I think that's when everything changed for me
Got
in the
bad.
neighborhood. Like,
So I have a question. Y'all ask me all the questions. I have a question. Do you feel now that back then it was worse than it is now?
Well, I'm 33, and I feel like when I was growing up in the early 90s, it was worse than what it is now for me. Because, I lived in the neighborhood and I grew up with, boys and, thugging and trapping and shit. So I used to see that growing up as a real little girl. So I think it's worse. I think it was worse for me then than what it is now. For me now, I think that I'm grown and it's like, I just look at everybody like they stupid. But, I think the young guys, they go hard, but they don't go as hard as they used to, back when I was growing up, when I was like a little girl. They don't go as hard.
Yeah, you younger than me, but like, okay, I had the honor of also working like at CTF. I was teaching cosmetology to the female inmates, but I interact with the guys too. So one of the younger guys, he asked me, he was like, you don't know nothing about this life, Miss Rayford. You ain't grow up, whatever. So once I told him a little bit about my story and where I grew up at, he was like, oh, okay, so you can relate. And my thing is, I think it's worse now. I think it's worse now. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I told him back in our day, when we were in the neighborhood, like your family name meant something. Like your family name, like who you were some kin to had like a reputation and carried weight around. So if, me and you had conflict and Ed is your family, we somebody will be like, oh, that's Ed family, you gotta back off, and people would back off and things wouldn't happen because of the respect that the weight Ed carried. So I think that was a lot better back then. Like now, if I go to my neighborhood, I don't know nobody. I don't know none of those kids, and they're disrespectful. They don't have nothing. They don't care who you some kid to. Your name, your family and name does not carry weight like back in our time.
It's kind of like a trick question, because if you ask me, like, if we speaking on a safety perspective, maybe I might say it's better now.
Yeah, I feel like it. The
From a
reason
safety
why I feel like it
perspective,
was I remember growing up and niggas coming through your neighborhood with shotguns, tearing your whole neighborhood to shreds, and you either running or you ducking or you getting shot. Nowadays, I kind of feel like the boys, they just don't go hard. Like, I think that they do a lot of stupid stuff. And I think, too, that it probably looks a little bit worse, or you think it's worse now because you hear so much about it. Yeah. Every time you turn on the news, now you got social media right in your hand. Every time you turn your Facebook on, your Instagram, your Twitter, little such and such got shot, somebody nephew got killed, somebody, I think it's more in your face now. Yeah. But I honestly believe back in the early 90s, in the 80s, I think it was worse. I think, it was city under siege. Shit was worse.
I think I agree with you.
So.
I agree with you when you said they went harder.
Yeah.
I think they went harder, like it wasn't no games playing around.
Right.
It wasn't like people were getting like murdered for dumb reasons,
right?
Like over shoes and stuff like that. It was more, it was more serious. It was serious.
I think to us, it didn't really resonate how bad things were, because we sat amongst the killers.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And when I say that, like when in our high school days, you your classmate got 5 baddies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But y'all was cool, and he wasn't gonna turn his gun on you because that was your man. You know what I'm saying? And y'all didn't owe each other anything. So you know what I'm saying? If you looked at it from that standpoint, it might not see this the ghetto shit. Look at this. Look at this. What a ghetto ass. Give it up for a ghetto ass.
I need to find my charger or my phone.
No, but back to what I was saying is we sat amongst the killers at that time, so it was kind of like oblivious to us of that the things that was going on. Now that we're older and we're raising kids, it's kind of shocking to us because we like, damn, these kids out here shooting and killing for no reason at all. So
But that's another reason why I feel like I wrote the book also, and it's to reach people, because a lot of the youth and a lot of people, I think it's for all ages. I don't think it's just for the youth. I don't think it's just for women, and I don't think it's just for men. I think everyone can relate to it, but I think the youth can relate to it because they can actually see or hit, like when they read it, they can actually see some of the things that happen in the past that can happen to you now.
Yeah.
None of us are exempt from anything happening. So I think, the book is relatable to just a variety of everyone.
I think that I was choked up a couple of times with the book. I was like, oh man, I think
choked up ain't the word. I was like,
I did.
God damn. I wanted to cry. I was reading this shit. I'm like, damn, does it get better? God damn, Tina. God.
It's gonna get good, God damn it. But I really enjoyed the book. It did leave me kind of like I wanted to know more. I wanted it to be, I want to know what the hell was going on. But I really think when you left the lines open, I really like that part because you can't sit down and write and say, I remember, well, this was the time in my life that, I went through something that I became insecure, or I became, my self-esteem went down. It will help you identify with certain things in your life. So I do like that part, and you didn't just leave it for the actual back of the book. It's like, okay, this is how I figured out what brought me to this point. Mm-hmm. And you write down and you figure out what brought you to that point. Mm-hmm. With the shooting at the club, I was like, oh God, if she say somebody got killed, oh damn. It was just, it's really real. It's a real book.
So with all the, like you talk about cycles, you know what I'm saying, the start of cycles. Mm-hmm. And you talked about 22 cycles from feeling like you could save the world to being traumatized to low self-esteem. How many of these cycles were you able to break?
I feel like the cycles.
So far.
I feel like I broke a lot, but ones that sometimes I still feel abandonment. I feel abandonment. I went through a depression phase and feeling depression and suicidal, and I was like, no, I gotta break out of this. This is so not me. So I feel like I broke that cycle. The cycle with less, like I said, I'm waiting, so I broke that cycle. It's still, I broke a lot of cycles, but there's still some. Sometimes you do still have some insecurities because of all the previous relationships and the things you've been through. It's kind of hard to trust people because you experience so much pain and so many times that you were let down. So, really iffy about the trust part and stuff like that. But I would stay a lot. I pray a lot. I try to just surround myself with positivity. Like I feel like with all the brush with death and all the people that I lost, I want to live my life a certain kind of way. I don't want to just, exist. I want to be like, have fun with life, enjoy life. I don't want to just be depressed and go through all the stress and all that. And then if something does happen and I go away from here, it's like, I didn't have a chance to enjoy life.
I got a question.
Yeah.
This is about to be
Last
real
question.
funny. It's the last question. Real
Okay.
ghetto.
Uh-oh.
Ghetto.
Did any of the baby daddies read the book yet? Ooh, excuse me.
You know what I
Did
said?
any of the baby daddies read the book yet? Because they was, listen.
No. And I said they probably don't read
Rolled
it
the
because
shit
they
out my
only
eyes.
read when they in jail.
Ooh,
Yes,
killer.
I said
You
it.
gotta say,
I said it, but
only when they're incarcerated, child.
No,
Don't
I
do
think
that.
so. The one who got
No.
all that time, is he still in jail?
But my daughter's father, my
Yeah.
first daughter.
Yeah.
Actually, he come home in January and he been locked up for 27 years.
Oh my God, he coming home in January. Yay!
Jesus Christ.
Bust
See-
them chains off. Yay!
right,
I
so-
just had to ask though.
All right, so 2 minutes left, right?
Hold on.
2 minutes left.
Hold on, Marcus.
Are there any shout outs you want to
Oh,
say
yeah.
for now?
Oh,
Anybody want to
No,
recognize?
January, y'all.
Yeah, I definitely gotta give my praise to God. I definitely gotta shout out my kids, Kiwana, Kia, Kevin, Kayvon, and Kasia, my grandson Cam. I also have another grandson, Kali, and my mom and dad. Even though there was some situations in the book, with my relationship with my mom and dad, I love my mom and dad, and I'm always praying for a better relationship between us. And I want to shout out all my friends, all Cersei Quarters, Tyler House, Ed for having me on the show. Nice meeting, Bench. I also have a lipstick line. It's called Virtuous Reds, and I did bring a gift for Vage.
I
bring
swear,
it.
Hold on.
I did, and even though
I'm hating like shit.
even though
I done known this hooker all my life and I can't get a gift.
even
God
though it's
damn
for
it.
women, I know you have a significant other, so you can give her the lipstick also.
Oh, I'm gonna have some more lipstick. I love you.
So
And what's the name of your book?
the book is 22, right here, 22 by Katina Rayford. 22.
Where can they find it?
It's available on Amazon.com. It's also available on Kindle. And you can always email me at katina.virtuousray.com. And you can email me. We can get together and do signed copies.
Shout that out one more time.
I'm Katina Rayford on Facebook and Virtuous Reds on Instagram. So you can DM me. I'm always having functions and events and stuff like that also. Yay.
Hey, we want to thank you for
love
coming
being
out.
here.
No, I appreciate
Thank
you
you for
coming
coming.
out.
I've been right on there. I might need a show, honey. Yes.
Two.
I look good on the camera and stuff.
What we gonna call this? Two hood rats in the asshole.
No, ma'am.
Look, we want to thank all y'all for tuning in. What's up, Jamila? Shout out to everybody that tuned in. I can't read all these names. We only got a minute left. But we want to appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Thank Miss Rayford, one of Tyler House finest, for coming in. I got my home girl to my left. That is my right hand.
Yes.
The African boy, he about to get fired. we got the super producer, Mr. Mark. Where's Bree? Right.
Yes.
I got the heir to the throne right there, Mr. King Man right there. My favorite white guy, Mr. Jacob. I tell y'all that when I pay my taxes. We out. Thank y'all for tuning in for Heart of the City. No, Trump just gave us the tax.
Listen, first the fat boys break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with hope. What's up, y'all niggas all fed up cause I got a little cheddar.